Oh, precious. Thank you so much for rolling through. I am, of course, internet friend Jeffrey K. Horcrims. And however it came to be, whatever dark fate on you, you have ended up here. Intoxicated. It is designed in its every fiber to invite you into that which you already own. The art and science of brewing. I am joined, as almost always, by my good friend and Acquisitions Intoxicated brewmaster, Eric J. Benson. Of course, we often see that. Certainly, there are those like Edge Benson process through to sort of identify where the communication breakdown might. It's very, very straightforward, actually.
Yeah, so are you gonna give it to him?
Yeah, of course, because it's
Sure.
Taurus Beestinger, of course. Thank you so much.
And happy birthday.
Indeed, raise those mugs high. Birthday. Now, it's Eric, but it's also the notorious CJB Anson. And Azerbaijan. We actually have to go down through the list every time.
It's. I'm getting a shirt printed with all the names on it, so you could just go.
Yeah. Well, exactly. It's just the litany, right? We have to. It's just like I say. It's just an outreach program that we operate here at Acquisitions Intoxicated, just to make sure that people know what's going on. I mean, we've spared no expense, to be sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, it'll be a long shirt, Orion Rogue, but it can be extended onto the back. And then we've also investigated, with a local printer. We've also investigated inside printing, just so that we can make sure that it's all sort of, that the entire Eric is contained.
Yeah. It's almost like a warding spell, right? Or containment spell. Yeah.
Exactly right.
You know his names. You can control him.
Yeah, so it's been an issue, but of course, I mean, that's the funny thing, right? Is that there's none of those could possibly be the true name because we're being so flagrant with them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? All right, but it's gonna happen. Yeah. So Pyro says exciting beer spreadsheet and/or vessel time. That's exactly right. Now, a bit of housekeeping. So Eric went over to the office, braved the office to get a hold of a few tanks, and then, wouldn't you know it, our attempts to make the older Pico Brew system function caused us to run aground on some very specific shoals. So, if you just as a aside, if you back a brewing device on Kickstarter that then goes into some kind of receivership where they delete the forums for the product, a product which is sort of abandoned in some ways, it becomes very difficult to get customer service for it. You are exposed to the true chaos winds of the Internet of Things. And so we goofed around with it for a while last night, tried to figure out exactly what the fatal error occurred number one canceling brew complex.
And there are many theories, yet we are still testing them all.
Yeah, and I thought that we might have to sick Bueland, and I know that Bueland would love to do it, but
and he'd crush it, like in an instant he'd be able to
exactly. Do it. But there are actually active. Tobias, thank you so much, and obviously Fox. I love the idea that it represents a purity law error. It's like if you go in there and you start fucking around with the recipe in a way that doesn't represent centuries old German law,
you're out.
The device can
it shuts down. It's like the Banksy art. It incinerates.
It
itself,
shreds.
Right?
It just annihilates itself.
Yeah.
That's the true art.
Yeah.
is its destruction. But yeah, we messed around with that for a while. I mean, we'll keep going. It sounds like glycol might be involved.
Yeah. We need mystical juice.
Yeah, exactly. So the two scenarios beyond that are to grab the actual box, grab the actual Z, which is probably going to serve us a little bit better, maybe long term, or to experiment with a few other devices. The fact is, there are other companies that have explored this space, and they continue to be real, right, which is always an advantage in the marketplace. But yes, there is a GitHub. There is a repo on GitHub that essentially does what Bulin would have done, which is trick it into think that it's communicating with the server,
right?
And then you can have local storage for all of your recipes, and you can have a local bank of them, basically, right?
Right.
Grainal fissure, indeed. Now, I want to caution the chat against this sort of
this nonsense, this heresy,
this kind of language.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, it's a family program, to be sure. We could never quite resolve what the issue was with the TOS, but no, and absolutely, Graham Baxter is exactly right. There's nothing wrong with bucket brews that you have made from pails from the hardware store.
Yeah.
Also perfectly fine.
That's a perfectly fine way to do it.
It definitely does do that, but of course, very, very substantial savings. Yeah, so Bulin says that it's more exciting to fix it from the start, but I can at least set the software up for you if you want. Now, even having the repo, I strongly suspect that we'll still need to engage our
right. Yeah, exactly. But I mean, for right now, the servers at Pico are working.
Yeah, and
they're working until they're not, right?
Yeah, they've suggested that they're up for the foreseeable future, but that's not a number. And
that's not quantifiable by any means.
Right. But I do think that the main thing, and there are other devices that we could utilize to do this, and this is what, because that's what I was suggesting last night. There is a device called the Brewy that sort of has like a double, it's pretty substantial.
Yep.
It has a sort of double tank type system with the boiling bag. We discussed this a little bit, but it has the cooling built in. So you don't have to Rube Goldberg your way through a plate chiller, to finish your beer. And it's a really nice thing to have built in. So it's something to consider. Now, that being said, we're going to iterate our traditional ritual to the extent it's possible.
Doctor, thanks for this up.
Yeah, but the main thing that, like going with the Brewy, the main thing we wouldn't want from that is that it's part of the ritual is to see the process.
Right.
And even in a lot of traditional brewing, you don't get to see from the side.
From the side
like
view. That's the space that's very
the ant farm view.
Yeah.
We like that on this show. We think that
there's something special there.
we think that works. But I think that the scenario, the scenario where we can get the Z bopping again, and then if we have to annihilate their DRM horseshit, that's well within our capacity. Right?
We have the technology.
Yeah, and so we will maintain that. In the meantime, of course, we'll try to resolve our issues with it. We can mount a camera, get that popping. I know that just for my own, mental health, I know that seeing several gallons of hot water introduced to a basket of grains, reducing it into a delicious syrup that has a unique color and a scent profile. I know that this would improve my mental health.
It's my ASMR at this point.
If we could do it, I think that it might really help, honestly. Gamer Gout. So no, we did not. You did not bring back any finished beers, did you?
No. Because I don't want to transport them. They've been sitting there for so long. Because when you move them after you've gone through the fermentation process, there's a chance of oxidation.
Yeah.
We just don't want that to happen.
So you would basically, if you wanted to get those out of there, you would transfer.
Yeah, we would we would have to do the carbonation process there first.
Yeah. So basically, get them on the tank.
Yeah.
Have it completely carbonated, and then serve from there. Right.
Yeah. Well, once it's carbonated, then we can transfer it, right? Because there's
it's safe. Once it's carbonated, then the oxidization threat isn't there.
Yeah, there's no oxygen in the tank, right? Like
it can't be. I see. The issue is that, because those tanks fill up to about 3-something gallons. The issue is that air atop.
Yep, exactly. That space is the danger.
Exactly. So as soon as space, I mean, obviously historically has been very dangerous. So
yeah, no one can hear you scream.
Yeah. I don't think you need to be a brewer to know that.
No.
Now, but there are a couple there, and they're the types, and they're the types of beers whose purpose, whose destiny, and whose inward desire is to rest for a very long time and become acquainted with itself.
Oh yeah.
So once we're able to grab those, get them carbonated, there is going to be much celebration in and around the craw.
Yeah, that
this area
for a penny is going to be just unbelievable.
Supernatural. Now, but of course, we will retain every aspect of the ritual that we possibly can. Now, so do you have anything there on your table?
I do.
In a beer context.
It's still, I wasn't, because of all the Pico stuff yesterday, I'm still drinking this delicious Amarillo.
Dude, listen, if you still have Hellbent Fresh Hop, you don't need to be going to the store.
No. Right after the show last week, I went and got more.
This is just your restock from the other one?
This is the restock because it's so damn good.
Yeah, dude, Orion Rogue has got the ironic play here.
Yeah, right.
With the are we making a beer in honor of Pico's demise? What a sad tale.
Right? A tale of woe.
Sad tale. It really, really is. Because it seemed like they were moving into something really interesting, and we never even found out what that last product was about. We knew about the Pico Z, right? Yeah. You could do 5 gallons, a bunch of like multiplexed 5-gallon things, sort of operate a micro brewery essentially, but automated on the back end and easy to clean, which is pretty profound by itself. But that multi-brew system, the new one that they had after that, that's like chai and coffee and like a bunch of other stuff, that was the last thing that they were about to kick, and it just didn't. It didn't happen.
Like all the heads of Voltron coming together, and
because I mean, you had actually done like sous vide in yours before.
Oh, it was amazing, absolutely amazing.
But like, it's a cool device
when you can get to work. Yeah.
Hold on. Zaga Fanile, which is to say our Technomancer McEwen, says their next venture was going to be to break into the bone broth market. Yeah, that's it. They wanted to become the pillar of that space.
Yeah.
Yes, Graham Baxter. They actually went under a while ago. It's just that because we weren't operating the show regularly, that information was not widely distributed unless you had the device. And even if you had the device, you'd have to go to specific places because for you it still works. Flagusco, that's exactly right. They did, the Bone Zone, Jux, exactly right. Flagusco says, what I really need is that distiller attachment. Well, I mean, that's what we all need, of course. So every time Eric comes over to my house for socially distanced wargaming, or just socially distanced drinking a lot in the backyard, this also happened. There is a coot. I use the term affectionately. I know that we're all.
He is a black. Yeah.
Independently, I know that we're all sort of on a coot trajectory.
Like
a trajectory.
Oh, I think we're eventually going to get there.
Yeah.
One day we're going to be walking by somebody's fence, and then we're just going to stop and talk to them about distilling alcohol.
We're going to have a bunch of very tiny dogs.
Yeah.
And we're going to be walking these dogs, and we're going to have, just as this man has, a pocket full of remaindered hot dogs that he was able to get cheap, and we're just going to tear off chunks and feed them to these dogs. That is,
the stories are just from.
That's our end point.
Yeah, that's the end game. That's it.
That's what happens.
Are you going to be offended if I walk with a spectacular cane during these?
No, listen. I'll tell you how it can be made. Obviously, if you need the cane to use it, I mean, of course.
Right.
But
what if it's more? I want it for style.
Here's the scenario.
If said
cane is indeed a kind of scabbard.
Oh, that's allowable.
Absolutely. Okay. You can slide in right under the wire with that. But I was just going to say, and obviously there are those of us as well that suffer from early onset coot disease.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, Mike Krahulik, I mean, it's like he is
classic coot.
Firmly ensconced. I think that he has been a coot since about 16.
Yeah.
I was there the whole time. I've seen it. But he just
walks around with Oreos instead of
exactly
right?
Twisted off. No, but in the pocket he's already twisted them off, like they're ready to go. And then he has milk in his other pocket.
That
he can just dip in that zone. But no, the takeaway, of course, is that this coot, of course, has exactly the hobbies that I would like.
Oh God, yeah.
He's talking about. Basically, he has the capacity to distill, and every time he sees us, he's like, "Where's my wort?"
Yeah, come on, guys.
He's on us about this wort.
2 years.
He told us a story, and it was lengthy. I'm not going to lie to you. It took a while to get through it,
and it really didn't need to be that lengthy, but it was fine because it's him.
This is a kindness that we offer this gentleman, right?
Yeah, but you also want to listen because you're just intrigued onto what corner is he going to go around next.
Yeah, exactly. Beckenbauer. Oh, the main thing is he wants wort, and we ultimately want to give it to him. But also, that's the sort of coot that I want to be, the one that finds old wine for cheap, and then makes brandy out of it at home. That's my guy.
Like 100 cases of it or something like that. Like
that's my guy. He is my dude.
Yeah.
Now. One of the best coots of all time is in the show, Dairy Girls. Like an all-time, like top 3 coot is in Dairy Girls for sure. You can't miss it. I
don't know of this show.
No, not Coop. Now, Beckenbauer. What happened to the beers brewed before lockdown? They rest.
Great question.
And they rest and they await our return. But they were beers that were designed to lager, designed to rest, designed to meditate. So the next case, the next scenario for that is just to get them carbonated in there and then start serving them up. Pyro, thank you so much. So the fantasy, Pyro, is to get one of these devices bopping so that we can produce the rich, dark Morkite ale that you all crave. What we're going to do this time, of course, after we begin drinking heavily, is I'm going to throw up. Well, I'm going to place for your perusal. I'm not going to vomit it. I'm going to place for your perusal the menu, and you'll be able to choose the next beer from the Abyss Bar that we're going to take a look at.
But what do you have over there on tap?
Well, I'm so glad you asked. This, you may recognize this. This ancient sigil.
Wow, that's a beacon. That is the bat signal going up.
It is, yeah. So that's from Rubens, which is one of the places. Like it's near our beer walk, but like just one block off.
It was a side quest.
It was definitely a side quest, and it was like a side quest where the color of the quest was like green.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It wasn't even high value. It's like Rubens is so good that you don't learn anything when you go there, right? You don't have a chance. You don't really get to investigate much just because they strike essentially unerringly. Now, you go when they start doing crazy stuff.
Oh, like when their whole full board is rye?
Yes, when they have like a rye festival. Like I want to see the experiments. And of course, they often have the Cheese Wizards food truck.
Never bad.
Parked right out front. But this is their Moorish IPA. Moorish.
Oh.
More.
Oh, not Moor.
No, God, no. Yeah, that would not be a good play for them.
That'd be the weird. That's a weird kind of Pete that we
Yeah,
don't need.
I would. Yeah, I'd talk to some of your younger employees.
Yeah.
About your names before they go out.
Yeah.
No, I think it is a British term. All right, now, rar. Thank you so much.
Rar.
Zaga, exactly right. It is a British expression. It means something else. So what they are recommending is it is a perfect balance of tropical hops and crisp bready malts. Let's see if that's true.
Whoa, that sounds fantastic.
Yeah. I think that
bready
good.
Malts, tropical hops.
Yeah, I think that is good. But I'm jealous of yours.
You should be.
I'm jealous of what you have.
It's still great. It's still great.
Well, and you have the tall can.
Mm-hmm.
That's how the tall can. Yeah, Branish. Look,
listen,
nothing would bring me more pleasure. I would love to become somebody who just exclusively does watch a thing streams. We're going to start with Alien.
Yeah.
And then we're going to go right to Aliens. And then since that's the last one, we're going to stop.
Well, pre-COVID, we had this idea because Twitch watch parties were coming online. And I had gone through like a litany of movies Jerry has never watched, and it blew my mind. Oh. So I said, basically, we're going to have to sit down one day on the couch and stream us watching these movies.
Oh, well, I'm ready. But the truth is, maybe that's something we can kick this way.
Yeah,
because why not? Because there are movies like, because I grew up, deeply, firmly ensconced, in the Lord.
Yeah.
Well, praise him. I mean, immediately I was doing it ironically, and then a hymn like
pop.
It was on its way. Like it was on the tip. It was on the tip.
Hosanna in the highest was coming out of your mouth, right?
It was at the tip of my tongue. No, Taurus.
It's scary how that happens.
Taurus. It's not Lathander. It's Yahweh, I think, is one of the classics. But no, a couple things. Most mob movies I'd never seen, but I fixed that.
Yeah, but hold on. Goodfellas, we need to get you one. You need to watch Goodfellas.
No, it's good. But like Krull. Krull is a perfect example.
Exactly. And that stings me to the core.
Right. But it's a perfect example of the kind of movie I wouldn't have been allowed to watch. And I don't even like anything that has any kind of hint of mysticism was just completely like right out.
So what about stuff like Excalibur or I know we talked
Conan because before. Excalibur, I've seen it, because I mean, you spend the night at a friend's house, you end up seeing things you're not supposed to watch.
Right.
But no, Excalibur, obvious, we got, there's a couple wizards.
Yeah.
Then this is the thing. So in that cosmology, there's no good magic.
Mm-hmm.
You can't fight the devil like with the devil's magic. was the way that they used to say it. So a good wizard is...
Wait, hold on. That's a term? Like that's a saying?
Yeah, a good wizard is a contradiction in terms. If you're leveraging these ritual elemental forces.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I was just gonna say, Blind Cleric, you weren't allowed to watch Power Rangers. I couldn't watch Voltron.
Shut up.
Because there was a witch in Voltron, right? But there was also a Voltron that was made out of cars and vehicles.
Like Mask? Remember Mask?
Well, of course I remember Mask. Boulder Mountain, motherfucker, don't even start me on this. Mama Mask. Don't do it. You need to stop it. And a Condor, that fucking motorcycle helicopter, that seems like a decapitation machine to me. I think that the person who's riding the motorcycle gets changed out once a week.
Yeah, he got kind of the shaft of the whole, all these cool vehicles, right?
No, I think the idea is cool. I'm just saying it's very dangerous when that thing comes up. That's all I'm saying. But
like, Rick got it again in the back.
But no, but there was no witch in the vehicle Voltron, so I had to. when Voltron came on during its time slot, sometimes it was lions and sometimes it was vehicles. So I had to wait for a little while to see the intro to see which one it was. This was stupid.
Yeah.
I don't think that God gives a lot of shit about magic
Voltron.
tigers, and I just don't. I have a hard time imagining that. I think that's a poor time investment.
Listen, he had to imbue the creativity into someone to make it. So
true.
Come on.
True. Now
that's my argument.
Yeah,
I don't. Good, yeah.
I know. I think Morris is good. I think this is them not doing a good job. For something in this vein from them, I would go with Crikey. Crikey is sort of Crikey is like the calibration beer. That's like the marble pillar around which they built the rest of the organization. There's certain things I don't want from them. Like I don't care about their Pilsner. Like I'm not interested in that.
Yeah, it's not why you're going there. It's not like there are other places we would go for a Pils, right?
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, Obeck is where I would go for a fucking Pils.
God, yes.
Now, so, but this is fine. Of course, I'm gonna drink it all. I'll probably have another one. It's fine. Who cares?
Listen, it's not gonna go to waste. We're not fucking.
No. But that being said, why don't we take a look into the mind of the audience and see what they are looking for the next beer that we're going to cook up today?
I agree.
Now, if you haven't done it, God, you know what I should do? I should send them a text and see if I can get codes.
Oh, for Deep Rock?
Yeah, codes to give away
off on the show.
Yeah. Because
everybody needs to play this game.
Yeah, but their last update, the one that came out on Friday or Saturday, update 32. So it's essentially it's like a Minecraft type thing where every time you enter the game, it's sort of created a custom place for you, but you're not intended to live there like in Minecraft. You're intended to get what you need and then get back out. Right. You never see that particular thing again. And we've been playing it for, almost a year now. And I'm still seeing compelling.
Yeah.
Like compelling zones. And what they did, and you have a variety of different jobs and secondary jobs that you need to accomplish when you get down in there.
Right.
They just added 2 more jobs that might come up, in the cycle. One of them is about essentially like tapping wells of liquid morkite.
Yep.
And the other one is essentially like it's a escort quest, but in the best possible way.
Right.
But the amount of art and audio and voice work to execute these 2 new free missions is so ridiculous that and then they gave it away. I mean, I would gladly have paid for it. It's that good. It's
2
that
missions.
good.
I would have paid for a DLC.
Well, especially because those missions enter the hopper, and then they come up. The amount of times that they come up, they make the whole thing broader, right? Now, but I do like what I'm seeing in here, because right now it is between Pots of Gold, which
that'd be fun.
Pots of Gold is exquisite, as ourselves, and of course Zaga Finele in the chat will tell you. Pots of Gold is essentially a buff to gold. Understand that getting gold in these missions is never the objective. Gold you just get because it's gold, and then that feeds into some of the upgrade mechanisms and the cosmetic stuff that's built in game. There's no there's cosmetic packs, there's DLC packs that are sort of like supporter type packs, but the vast majority of the cosmetic upgrades are just purchased completely through the internal system. And these new patches added a bunch more of those too, including an incredible pompadour.
Listen, I may have bought it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying.
No, it happened. Yeah. It happened. No, you can't see my pompadour when I'm wearing a hat. I mean, that's not their fault. That's just how things work.
That's just physics.
Yeah. A pompadour is essentially a hat made out of hair, if you think about it. If you really think about it.
If you really put your mind to it, yeah.
But Pots of Gold, always good when that pops up. Red Rock Blaster is great it's great in a variety of contexts because it's just a flat I think 30% bonus health.
Right.
So if you want to
try, any day. Yeah,
you can set the hazard level of a mission that sort of determines some fundamental aspects of its difficulty.
Mm-hmm.
And so Red Rock Blaster is, some of these are very situational. Red Rock Blaster is basically always going to be okay. Yeah, Dr. Dragon, I've seen the same thing. I've seen the same thing from DRG. I've had really positive experiences. And it seems like that game could be a fountain of anguish and terror from an interpersonal perspective, but it kind of works. Oh, there we go. I hadn't considered that. The driller really does have multiple melee. You really could just turn the drills on, I guess.
That's true.
And get real juice.
Yeah.
Yep. Rocky Mountain is also good. Everybody wants it. Now, so we are going for the Red Rock Blaster, which is cool because, I mean, obviously there's a couple styles that recommend themselves in this context. 23 shouts. Thank you so much for the sub. Yeah, I mean, Irish Red is
that's a classic, right?
Obviously it's going to be on the menu for sure.
Yeah.
Right. It belongs there.
Yep, absolutely.
Right, and let me get my notepad up so that I can get the information that you need and deliver it unto you.
But what else would be a really interesting beer to go along with?
Because the truth is, we can get the Irish Red profile.
Oh yeah, I mean
purely from our grains.
But this is so. I mean, it's healing, right? So
it's not healing. It just makes you. It increases your base max health, right? So it really is. It's just fortifying.
Right.
Right. It's a fortifying beverage.
God, I would think a stout would be cool for this.
Yeah. So what if you build stout characteristics in there? Yeah. No, we've made blonde stouts before.
Absolutely.
But what if we're very judicious about our use of darker malts, and we still maintain we can still maintain a transparency.
Yeah.
Right. We add a tiny bit of something that's going to bring our SRM down, but we maintain a rich red character. I think that's possible too. I love stout. Is there a third one that might be fun? I'm going to look to the chat.
I'm not going to say Flanders, but
oh well, yeah. I mean, get that tang in there.
Yeah. Because
I'm okay with it because the idea is, and then of course Tony from Micro Homebrew he'll feel our affection.
Yeah.
Are you saying no Flanders Red?
No, we could do Flanders if we wanted to.
Yeah. So tell the people. I mean, my experience with Flanders is that it's on the sour. It's on the sour continuum.
Yeah, it's sour. It's fruity.
But I don't mind the idea. I don't mind the idea of it, especially for this context. Obviously, sours aren't my favorite, but I don't mind it for this context because.
Well, it's even when you're down there and you're cracking into red sugar. I mean, I know this is still a red ale, right? But
especially it never occurred to me that that's probably why those two things work.
Yeah, sugar.
It's probably made with red sugar.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
But gosh, and so there's obviously things that we can mess around with that too. But the main thing that we can get with Flanders is that taking your medicine, has historically been unpleasant.
That's true. Right.
So I feel good about Irish Red, Stout, and Flanders Red.
God, I think they're all great.
Any one of these is a winner. Now there's going to be some sliding. We're going to have to goose some sliders.
What do we think about? Oh, never mind. It's already up. I was thinking, what do we think about like a
amber?
Well, like a fruit, like a fruit ale, like something sweet and like a cherry or a raspberry pale ale, right? Like a raspberry pale ale would be just divine.
I'm going to reuse this. Sorry, guys. So this would be like a fruited ale.
Yeah, fruited ale, right? Because
Because
just one more thing.
No, but essentially what it will do is that's another path.
Mm-hmm.
That's another path to the color we want.
Sure. Yeah.
That doesn't necessarily involve the grain bed.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So if we make something that's light, crisp, and good, and then we introduce a fruit element,
right,
that brings our color, into the correct vibe.
Yeah, but and it's also healing, right? Like I want to sit down and have.
Well, yeah, exactly. It's nourishing,
flavor,
right?
It's nourishing.
It's nourishing.
Fade to black, totally.
Yeah, it's true, Zaga. We had this fantasy. So every time Floyd, the bartending robot, Bosco model, clearly. Oh, also for the Halloween event, Bosco has a little witch hat.
Does he? I didn't see it yet.
Who couldn't be more pleased? It's me.
Life is good.
I'm the pleased one. It works. So, but the basic thing about that is that we had this fantasy that depending on what beer you ordered, the color of the beer coming out of the beer gun would be a different color. I don't think it's true. Although I do think it would not be difficult to do. Tobias is talking about the Creek Lambic. Obviously, Creek Lambic.
Oh yeah, Tobias. There you go.
Flawless. I mean, that would be amazing.
Yeah,
it would work completely. I advocate for it end to end.
I like the idea, like girly beer. You know what I mean? I don't subscribe to that. Like I know what Tobias is saying.
Oh
right?
No, we've seen it. We've seen this idea.
Yeah.
We've seen this idea, but I mean, the truth is that so much of that gets pegged into. I think it has to do with what your drinking culture is.
Right. Exactly.
Right. I mean, I'd be surprised, like, when I was in Germany, everyone drinks beer. There isn't like a wine beer bifurcation that makes any kind of sense.
Right. And there's no. You don't get like the hipsters of beer, right? It's not a thing. I mean, you got the purity law ish. I guess that is the pre-hipster. But
it happens, I think.
Yeah.
But no, but that's to my mind, that is just it's such an unnecessary limiting factor.
Right.
If you're going to constrain your experiences, like that's not a good strategy for living. And also I do think that some aspects of it, like when I was in Ireland, I've told this story before on the show. But Ireland, like beer is a matter of cultural pride. And so if you go over in Germany, it's the same thing.
Exactly.
Beer is a fundamental part of being a member of that society. It's it's hyper normal. There's no bifurcations, at least that I saw when I was there. And when I was in Ireland, I only just turned 21. Mm-hmm. And so I could take advantage of this stuff. And it was a delight. The drinking age, at least at that time there, was 20. So Brenna could get on it. Brenna could get in on it as well. The funny part is that she could drink on the flight too.
Oh, no
but
kidding.
She couldn't drink on the flight
back. That's too funny.
I know. But
it's like, no, you're not coming into these states drunk, but man, you can go flying high out of them.
But I went up to change, like these days, of course, you'd probably just use your card. But then we had traveler's checks because this was like 2003.
Oh, remember traveler's checks?
Right. And so I went over and I exchanged some traveler's checks at a bank to get cash, I think, for more beer. And the woman at the bank wanted to make sure that I was drinking enough stout.
What?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. No, she's like, oh, so what are you drinking? And I'm like, well, I'm drinking Woody's, which is basically like a malt. It's like a malt beverage. It's like a super sweet.
A Colt 45 in your hand.
Basically.
Ireland with a Colt 45, surrounded by Guinness.
No, and she was mad.
Yeah.
Right? She was mad. Tobias, listen, nothing would bring us more pleasure. So we have We have a friend.
Bias, absolutely.
It's obviously it's not correct. Obviously, Schwarzwald, I don't think that's correct. But we have a friend who lives there and has a hotel there and has an open standard invitation to us to come out. So
it's going to happen.
It's anywhere near there.
Yeah.
Let's make it happen.
Yeah.
Let's make it happen for sure. It's going to be a bit. It's going to be a bit.
But right. I think this is more of another omen, right? We have more people in the chat from our desired location in Germany to go. So
absolutely.
We will make this happen.
Oh gosh, I would love it. I had such a good time. Piril, I had such a good time in Edinburgh. And the best part, well, God, there were so many fucking awesome parts of being in Scotland. But one of my favorite parts was that I had been purchased a membership by my super rad, incredibly hot wife, Brenna. She got me a membership to the Scotch Malt Whiskey Society.
Oh yeah, that's fun.
And there's like a tasting room and restaurant there.
Yeah, and you can.
She had gotten it for me because it came with a cool kit, like a tasting kit, right? And being able to go there and like have my card,
and like there,
and then like, hey, hello, I am from the American contingent.
Listen, I'm your American friends. Hello.
Oh yeah, Beckenbauer. Don't even. It's torment. You know, the new character in Valorant, I think, is intended to have an Australian accent.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I'm not even gonna lie. Like I love being in Australia, and a big part of it is just the slight fluctuations of the accent. There's like this aspirant H, that is just. I mean, it is an endless delight to the way my mind operates, and seeing her on the new Valorant video bummed me out a little bit, but it also made me want to play Valorant. So I don't know. I mean, it's very complex. It's very complex. All right, so let's take a look at this fruited ale. That's what we got.
That's
so you got him. You got him.
I don't know. Sorry, it just came. It was like a split second thing, and I was like, okay,
that's how it should be. That's how it should be. It should work that way. Now, so my notepad is ready. We need to get ABV. We need to get SRM.
Fuck yeah, man.
Right? We got to get these stats. There's also IBU. Now, the best part about this is that it's essentially like, from our perspective and the perspective of the channel, this is weapons free.
Yeah.
It doesn't have the constraints of the other one because we're going to get our cool red color from a fruit. And raspberry, raspberry is going to be the wrong color. Raspberry for this is going to come out pink. I think we want those sterilized jam-like strawberry editions.
Strawberry. Well, there's also cherries too. Cherries are a really a beautiful flavor to add to a beer. Right?
And it's not that common either.
No, you don't see it a lot. But when I've had it, when breweries do it right, it is a fantastic ale, and I'm not afraid to say that.
But cherry, especially, is a very base sweet.
Oh, cherry medicine tie-in. That's true. Like that's the typical
that's
medicinal
Hey, you got it.
Yeah, that's a really
you got it. Yes. Now, Doubted Tech pomegranate could work too, but I think that if you were actually to introduce pomegranate. You'd have to come in the back and do a dry addition. I think if you actually boiled pomegranate juice, it would cease to be anything you recognize as pomegranate.
Yeah.
I think it would break down the compounds in there that we really like.
Yeah. I think
cherry lambic. Right. Cherry lambic is obviously incredible. But yeah, so Gamer Gout, I think the challenge for us now is to build a strong body that provides that fortification. Ultimately, we're trying to make something like a cherry tart, right?
Well, yeah.
So get some biscuit malts in there.
Well, I also think of like a you ever have a pie, like a cherry pie with a graham cracker crust?
Ooh, yeah.
Like that's always fortifying and delicious, right?
Now you're speaking my language.
Yeah.
You're speaking my language.
That's another way to go.
God.
Oh, black currant. Yeah.
No, black currant is a winner too. So there's
God,
so
that's fucking great.
So once we get to fruit, I think that's actually very broad. Really?
Yeah.
Let's
get our specs first, but then before we even begin with grain,
we start with fruit.
Start with fruit this time, and we've never done that. I think it's cool.
Yeah. No, it's new. Now,
what do we want for ABV?
Yeah, the truth is, so let's go into the narrative. Let's go into the narrative, right?
Yeah.
Fortifying beer, ABV. Now, as
Dan
has happened,
man, what's going on?
Oh,
good to see you, friend.
Dan Barine, man, it is real life, pal. This is actually the second episode. If you go back, if you're feeling lonely, Dan, we have another episode just from last week, just to bring you online. We are brewing beers from a game we've been playing a lot during quarantine called Deep Rock Galactic. Mm-hmm. And there is sort of in the lobby, there's an area called the Abyss Bar where you essentially purchase beers as potions to give you like mission length buffs, right?
I think the ultimate goal is to get them to put one of our beers in the game.
Well, I'm not going to argue with it, but the main thing is essentially, well, I'm not. The main thing is to engage in something like an active worship for the game. And then also to make a bunch of beer. So Black Cherries is definitely available to us, Tobias. Like that's one of the options. First, let's sort of fence this thing in with our top level stats. So yeah, it's fortifying. So for an ABV, what are the classic ones in that style?
There is no classic.
It's open, right?
It's anything's fair game. But let's talk about like as a narrative. What does it mean? We're drinking this beforehand to go down and work, so we're not as hammered.
Mm-hmm.
Or we're trying to hammer, so maybe it's around the 5 to 6 range.
Yeah, I think five is definitely the ante.
Yeah,
right. I think you go 5, 7, and 9.
Yeah, and 9 is kind of that's where it's fortifying, right? That's where.
Yeah, exactly. So what does it mean to fortify? Like we have other ingredients in terms of the fruit and the malt that are going to provide that shelf below the mining dwarf,
right?
That is going to provide that sucker and strength, that scaffold.
Yeah,
to do their best work.
So there's a mission in the game where we get these things called rocks in the wall called acorks, right? Mm-hmm. And there is a drill hub.
Point extraction. The mine extraction.
So what if they're down there and every time they bring one of these back, they get a beer, right? Like they get one as a fortifying beer. So then it would be more of the 5% spectrum so they could go back out and do the work.
Yeah, exactly. There should be taps on the mine head. Let's be clear.
You know what? Recommendation for them. Put taps on the mine head.
Pulls, right?
Yeah.
Like random beers between waves. I like it. But because again, it isn't even outside canon because the today's special, I mean, these are offered by the company, obviously on the drill rig. So it's legit. But basically we're talking about fortification. Does fortification mean that we're providing a substantial amount of alcoholic kick at the top level?
Mm-hmm.
Is fortifying something that is enjoyable and, acts medicinally for us to do that between shifts?
Right.
Or is it something in the middle where it's providing real kick, but we can go at it? Let's find out. Yes. I mean, Tobias, I think there's a case there and we're going to goose the malt body of this thing so that it provides the sucker dwarves crave. Yeah, it has to be tangible. I completely agree. Oh, Dan, God, I missed you, pal. Look, I think out at Two Beers, you guys do a Caesar with Brussels sprouts. And I probably think about this fucking thing.
Oh, is it the fried Brussels sprouts?
Yeah, it is. It's a Caesar. Yeah. It's a Caesar made with fried Brussels sprouts. And I think about it. I mean, I think about it once every 2-3 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a fried salad. That's exactly right. It's like, I don't like salad.
That is the only salad I eat. That's the only salad I eat.
Pyro coming
in. Holy shit.
Pyro coming in with the wisdom. Yes. Oh, and there's bacon. God, it's fucking good. It's so good. Oh, Nickman, it's too good, man. It's too good.
What a treat.
Well, Tobias, I don't know about beer with Brussels sprouts. The only thing I would say about beer with Brussels sprouts is that depending on how you prepare the Brussels sprouts,
it's not really vegetables at a certain point.
No, exactly. And that bitterness actually, like the way that you cook it can manage the bitterness and to bring it away from that.
Yeah, listen, it's a known quantity that I hate vegetables, except for like corn and onions, which really aren't vegetables. But I love these Brussels sprouts. No way.
They're killer. Now, hey, so that's our 7. So we're going to come in at 7. I think that's exactly right. And
I think that's really neat.
Especially at 7, like it's a good threshold.
Yep.
That, I mean, to me, what that means is that we're even freer than we were before.
Right. Exactly.
We can put some shit in this. Like we can stuff this beer with Gren.
Agreed.
Precious Grens.
So now we got to talk about color. Where do we want this color to go?
Well, we know that we want it to be red.
Right.
But how we get there.
Exactly.
You know, there's a process there.
That's the tail.
And the truth is we got to this whole thing. I had to pause the voting because the fruit take on it was so good.
Right.
So does that mean that what we actually want in this context is something with a lighter color?
And that
we come in and then it's actually the fruit addition that brings the red.
The fruit addition isn't going to bring too much. It's going to add color for sure.
Yeah.
But it's not going to turn it to look from like a 3 to a 20.
No. But I'm just wondering where we want the benchmark purely from grains to exist.
Yep.
So that when we add this stuff in, it's moving in the direction that we want.
And also to think the other grains we're going to add in might give us will give us some color as well too.
True. Right? True. Yeah. So we can use a lot of the traditional Irish red.
Or the other way around this is what color do we really want to aim for at the end? We should really be thinking about is the expression from the fruit like you said, or end color, do we want it to be like a 15 or 17?
Or do we set ourselves up somewhere? I mean, I see what Tobias is saying. Do we set ourselves up somewhere between 10 and 14 in that where we're starting to get darker?
Right.
It's in a really nice place. The cherries or the black currants, fruits of the forest, none of that is going to take it much past it. If anything, it's just going to deepen. Essentially, it's just it's like another axis from this.
Right.
Right. So I'm liking that. I like 10. 12.
I like 10. I love the 15. I love that 15-16 spectrum.
Here. Don't worry. We're gonna hook them up.
I think Tobias really hit it right on the head. Doctor got it as well. 11 to 20. Like the 20 is going to give us a really deep, rich color.
Really, I didn't know it had gotten so crazy. Hang on a second.
Yeah. I mean,
I didn't know it had gotten so fucking nuts.
Our chat has become
don't vote.
Fantastic.
Well, do vote in real life, but don't vote on this yet. I have to put in another option. So I'm gonna go much broader than I typically do for the full range. Let's see what this is. Now you may vote. So yeah, I mean, again, so it's about richness. Even up north, it's okay to go one of those routes. Especially because the flavor is going to be good. And getting too caught up in like how literal it is, we want to execute in this range.
Right.
But it can be a rich red and still execute the concept, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, pop culture poli sci, of course. Yeah. Absolutely. 100%. Oh, hello, RF Switchard. So nice to see you. Cucumber Ghost. That's actually not uncommon.
What is it?
A goza, a cucumber goza. Like,
oh, absolutely not. Yeah, that sounds great.
In fact, I think Rubens might offer one.
Yeah, I mean, cucumber is such a fun, interesting.
Here locally, God, cucumber is in drinks. It carries a surprising amount of freight.
Specifically, a cucumber gin and tonic. They're fantastic.
Dude, don't even fucking start me, man.
Freaking fantastic.
Don't even fucking start me on this. There was this bar. I wrote about it once on the site.
Oh, really?
Yeah, down in San Diego, at San Diego Comic-Con. It's a bit of a walk to get there, but there is a hotel, like a really fancy hotel. I mean, I never stayed there, right? But there is a fancy ass hotel.
Yeah,
that has a hotel bar. That is, I swear to God, this is like the hotel bar that you would see. You would read about this in a book. Like you could never actually go there.
Yeah.
And it had the most idiosyncratic, like this bartender was a character from a book.
But that's what you want.
It's exactly what you want. It's exactly what you want. Like I've never been to a club, and I don't mean a club like we're not. I mean like a club, like a club.
Like a social club. Like the sort of club.
Yeah. The sort of club that you know about. I've never been to one, but I imagine it has a gentleman.
Yes.
In this context,
my gentleman's name was Bill, and he made the best old fashions on the planet. And it took 2 years of convincing him to show me how he actually makes it.
Interesting. So basically, I went there with Brenna one of the years that she was able to go.
Yeah.
And it was the sort of thing where he just sort of asked you what you wanted.
Yeah.
And you could tell him something specific, or you could tell him something esoteric.
Right.
And he was equally conversant on both sides of that. Right. And so he put together something for her that was actually like a vodka soda with cucumber.
Oh, no kidding.
She basically said that she was like thirsty. And so he made a refreshing cocktail type drink.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Oh, Level 1 Bar says, did someone say drinks to get you guys streaming in behind our bar? Oh, thank you so much. For anyone else who is just arriving, understand that this is Acquisitions Intoxicated. We are Twitch's only brewing show, as far as I know, operated by Penny Arcade, hosted by yourself, by myself, Jerriford K. Horcrims, Eric J. Benson, Acquisitions Intoxicated Brewmaster. So nice to make your acquaintance. As you should be, Level 1 Bar. I'm going to look you up immediately after this is done. Now,
where is Level 1? Wait, Level 1. Is there an actual bar?
Stop in, drinks on us. That's what it sounds like.
Wait, where is this located?
I'm looking for it right now. Level 1 Bar, 1980s themed, you say?
Really? You had me at 1980s Level 1. Oh, Columbus, Ohio. I have friends in Ohio. Our good friend Steve Hammaker.
I'm loving it. What a cool spot, and what a great beer list. Columbus, Ohio.
Yeah.
What a great list.
Columbus actually has a really great beer scene.
You should be quite proud of yourself.
Yeah.
That is a very, very strong, PAX Ohio sauce.
So we can go. We're building a whole convention there.
We're making it happen. Well, hey, it's good to meet you. Hey, so
thanks, Level.
I think we've gotten there with the 12. I think that they want.
I think that's a great number.
It's a good spot. Any one of these, I think, is legit. Obviously, this is correct because they chose it, but we can inflect that SRM with fruit and make it even richer, right?
Yep, exactly. Okay, so next, what we're looking for, we've got the 12. Hold on.
You're looking for the Ebu.
Yep, that Ebu. I mean, and again, this is open range. I don't think we go above 50 on this one, 50 or 60.
We don't have to. Now, if we did, that would definitely move us into that IPA range.
Yeah,
down to the base of it, right?
Yeah.
It isn't up to us, really.
Yeah, it's true.
We know that this machine reliably provides success, and so We just give them the options. They'll tell us which one is correct.
Yep.
In aggregate, right?
So let's say, I would say we start at 30 just to get, some of the maltiness out of the way. And then maybe 30, 40, and 50. Or no, let's do 30, 45, and maybe 60.
Just jump in, right?
Yeah. Because if they do want to go the IPA route and say we want some bitterness to this beer,
again,
the rocks are tough, right?
Exactly, but getting back to the idea that there is, fundamentally a medicinal aspect to it.
Yeah,
that works for me. Like I don't hate that at all.
Yeah, I
think that's great. Style again. Hey, so Orion Rogue, we're basically doing an ale, a fruited ale, essentially an ale that we're just gonna provide some fruit additions to alter the flavor and color. The discussions that we'd had were in the black currant or black cherry range. Beckenbauer says that traveling trains don't need a license to pour alcohol in the UK. I guess because they're never in one place. How do you legislate it?
Right, exactly. It's like gambling offshore on boats, right?
Yeah, exactly. You'd have to create a whole. Orion Rogue. I'm at your service. There's never a situation where any apology is required. Hey, now, but something bad did happen. And obviously I hate to bring it up on the stream, because obviously this is a place of healing, but my beer is empty. Yeah, it's fine.
Whoa.
I know. I mean, it's not okay. It's not like great, but it's like, right. So I'm going to let this run.
Maybe you should run.
Well, I'm going to let this run. You soft shoot.
Yep.
I'll be right back.
I mean, take before you sent in the unknown space hell pit. Yeah, gout. Traveling hovercrafts, Tobias, I completely agree. And when we can all ride hovercrafts, I'm 100% for that. So where are we coming up on this poll? Oh God, 30's dominating this. This is, I think 30 is going to be pretty cool, actually. That's going to give us a lot to play around with flavor-wise, both in the malt and with the fruit. So the fruit's going to really come through, I think, as we utilize that IBU. So I think start thinking about what kind of hops we want to actually throw into this, because again, with this type of ale, the world's kind of our oyster. We get to do whatever we want, hop wise. We could do something to accentuate the fruit or to kind of smooth the flavors out. Wait, there was a hovercraft service in the UK to France. That's not true. Come on, that's the coolest shit ever. I want to take a hovercraft from Britain to France. Freckenbauer, come on, is this serious? I'm Googling this now. Holy crap, you're 100. It was a ferry system? Oh, I remember these things. That is fascinating. That is so cool. Freckenbauer, I looked it up. That's amazing. I totally remember those, and I can't believe I forgot about them. But that's pretty rad. Why did they stop it? Orion Rogue, Harto Blanc is a great call. Both of those are great.
Is I?
Hey,
your friend Jennifer K. Horkins. Yes.
Do you remember the hovercraft ferry in the UK? I've completely forgot about this.
Yeah,
didn't think it was a real thing. And Freckenbauer and Tobias hooked it up. This is great. I want a hovercraft. I want a hovercraft back in my life from this.
Hovercrafts, A+. Hydrofoil, also cool.
Yep.
Where I grew up in Sumner, we would often go to lake taps, where hydroplane races occurred with some frequency.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm. It's a real device. Look, they want the 30. They're not looking for the big medicine, although we can get a lot of flavor in 30.
Yeah, and
but they're not looking for the IPA aspect. They're looking for something that you're putting down.
Right. And this is gonna allow the flavor of the malt and the fruit
and the malt and fruit. Exactly. And that's why it is, of course, as it is every time, representative of the crowd wisdom.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. So what's next? Oh, your fantasy was to start with fruit, correct?
I think we start with fruit and we say, what fruit do we want in this beer?
Yeah.
I think cherry's one, raspberry is one, black currant.
Yeah, but because our base color already exists pretty solidly in the range that would be called a red, we can get raspberries would be fine in this.
Yeah, absolutely.
It isn't an issue. Raspberry, it'd be a little tart, a little sweet, but not a middle or base sweet like you'd have with a strawberry or a cherry, right?
Beats Orion, you rogue.
God, they're not wrong though.
Yeah.
God, it would give it such a weird taste. I remember when I was in Ireland, their soda, even like Pepsi, is flavored with beet sugar.
Really?
Yeah, and you can tell. It's not bad, but you can tell.
There's a noticeable difference enough. Strawberry rhubarb, classic.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, like, has rhubarb, I mean, color-wise, it's not going to change the color too much, but it's very tangy and good, especially against the backdrop of like whatever we build for the malt. Rhubarb, I think, is a winner too.
Mm.
You could get a rhubarb compote type situation and put that in as an after addition.
Yeah,
it'd be tangy and sweet and good. So fruit wise, what are we looking for? I mean, I got the raspberry in. That's a classic. Black cherry.
I mean, cherry. Black currant. I mean, we could go strawberry. Strawberry is another great addition.
Mm-hmm. Well, yes, and easy to get. I'm gonna put in rhubarb.
SA has rhubarb and beetroot. Interesting. Yeah, you could do a mixed berry, like a Twitch times. Thanks for the sub. Or twice times. Excuse me.
Oh, I was curious about that.
Yeah.
In there. So hang on a second. SA, so nice to see you in the channel, of course. Mm. In terms of beetroot, I was curious and I just checked it and verified it. That's just what we call beet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. It's just like the bottom part of the beet, I guess.
Beet. Okay.
As opposed to the greens, right?
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
But no, especially because beet has a depth. Can you imagine the color you would get off of
a beet? Yeah. I mean, that's like dripping ink into a
no, I think that is genius tier. And obviously beets have the deep associations, right? It's on brand.
There's a lot of great options here.
Mm-hmm.
We cannot go wrong.
Yep. So I threw a mix in there. Yeah, Beckenbauer. There is a difference there between like the corn syrup Coke and the beet sugar Coke. Of course, these days, at least here, twice. Thank you so much. These days, if you are an especially fancy restaurant, you might offer the Mexican Coke that is made from sugar and not high fructose corn syrup. And it's a real good.
God, black cherry is winning out, and I think that's a really cool way to. This is a really interesting poll because there's a lot of great
it's just
flavors.
It's a rich sweet. I'm gonna let this simmer for a sec.
Yeah, this is pretty interesting. I love it.
No, Tobias, these are all winners. It's all good stuff, I think. But definitely get your vote in. Beet, yeah, especially at the end. Like I don't even know if I wouldn't boil it in there because then you're gonna get off flavors on the back. A beet, like a chunked beet, would be something that you added as a dry addition. And against the rest of it, I think it would still be really good, but it would be novel. But that color, oof.
Northern Harbor Flagship Ale. That sounds great. I'll have to try. I'll see if we can find it.
I'm down. I think Black Cherry is the winner.
That's great. I think that is going to provide a really delicious flavor.
Stu Harbs is coming in, of course, with the lore note, which is that there's no way DRG would pay for Black Cherries. Of course, they'd be getting beets, guaranteed.
But they'd say it's Black Cherry. They'd say it's Black Cherry.
Yeah, pop culture. I think this is a winner. Oh yeah, Hoxus beats. You know that's a secondary fucking mission somewhere.
Oh, Northern Harbor. Oh God, freaking
the pretend one.
The pretend Northern Harbor. Yeah, now I get it.
All right, so we are good to go. Black Cherry, it is.
Okay, cool. So let's talk about our initial grain. This leads to. I am going to say we're going to go with 2 grains here, and those are the choice. We can go with or 3 grains. Regular 2-row. Clean, very crisp. But then we're going to give the choice of the Copeland 2-row.
Yes. Now that basically boosts the sweetness and syrupy.
Exactly.
Underneath, right?
Underneath, yep. And then the other one will be Golden Promise because these are the. Or actually, no. Let's use Golden Promise. Absolutely, Golden Promise. It's gonna be more bready, and more,
there's a Copeland version of that too, right?
No, I don't think there is.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Just the 2-row.
But if we are looking for a bready sweetness, it's available. Yeah. So Beckenbauer, what is German Black Cherry?
Ooh.
Oh, Taint is saying if you want graham cracker flavor, consider molasses for your sugar. Can you imagine? Just get that.
Good idea.
Get that in the boil. That again, I mean, essentially in each of these cases, we're emphasizing the base note of sweet. Mm-hmm. The sweetness is rich, and it's down here on the bottom, right?
Yep. So I may have done something heretical once and put molasses into an Oktoberfest, but man, was it freaking good.
Well, that you're definitely engaging in witchcraft there.
Yeah.
But it's already so low and sweet in an Oktoberfest.
Right.
That's a criminal act. That's drugs. So essentially you were making drugs.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was delicious.
Was it blackstrap molasses?
To be honest, I don't know. I mean, it was so long ago. We brought it.
So check out Tobias's comment. No.
That's awesome.
No, molasses. There's a couple roots you can get. I mean, there's a couple things that we would call molasses that could be added.
Yeah.
No, you know what? They're looking for the Golden Promise. Let's give it to them.
Hey, X is going to give it to him.
Well, historically, yeah. That's very X, honestly, when you think about it. Yeah.
I gotta find. Oh, there we go. I'm putting in, so I have to, since I've had this now on my home computer, I haven't updated all the files. I don't think I have Golden Promise in here.
Oh, really?
I'm going to put 2-row for now because it's basically the same thing, but I'll switch. I have to download the extension to put Golden Promise in there.
Oh, is there some community stuff?
No, there's just well, let's see. I'll show everyone. So this, if you have
Beersmith 3, right?
Beersmith, You can go in and there's add-ons, and there's a
Yeah.
ton of different add-ons. So we can put in best malts, candy syrup, Cascade beer, Castle malts.
Oh, it's so funny. We can't see the add-on window because the.
Oh yeah, hold on, because I'm pulling from.
Well, it's sharing the parent window, right?
Hold on, let me switch this. How's that?
Ho ho.
So there's all these things you can put in. You can add in.
Really?
Yep. A lot of the stuff,
malts from specific providers.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh wow.
So, and different hops, like we can do the hop update 2020.
Do the hop update 20. What, like NFL 2K?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
We got all the great hops this season.
2020. Mutton. I don't think we need to do those.
Yeah, and Beckenbauer, there's a lot of colloquial names.
Okay, so let's see if that helped us out at all.
Gave you the juice?
No, apparently it didn't. What?
Fair enough. But you can kick it for here, and then we can add it in there.
Yeah, I can add it in later.
Essentially, you just have to find which of those options gives it to you, right?
Yeah. What a weird.
Yeah, Beckenbauer. A lot of those things have specific names too. Like, do you have the term or something that would map onto the term pie cherry?
Huh.
Yeah. Crystal is saying consider golden syrup for your sugar as well.
Oh yeah, we could definitely do that.
But I'm starting to get kind of cranked up for this brown sugar.
Oh yeah, I did. Yeah, absolutely.
We'll see how it goes.
Okay.
Yeah. So who's next?
Wait a minute. Check this out. Skagit Valley, right there. What? Are you seeing that? That's so freaking cool.
All right. Now, New York.
I am.
You should understand that it is the Skagit Valley.
Skagit, not Skagit?
Yes.
Skagit Valley.
Nobody has to know. I mean, I have seen televised programs that refer to Spokane. So it's fine. It's fine.
Hey, you guys, listen here. It's the freaking Skagit Valley, okay? I don't want to talk about it. All right.
That's New York.
Yeah. We're gonna get some coffee, have a freaking slice, and go get some malts. It's no big freaking deal.
From the Skagit, I know a guy.
From the Skagit, I know a guy or two. Listen, whatever you need, we're gonna get for you, friend.
All right, I'm back.
Good.
So were they able to give you? Did that give you the content?
No, I still can't believe I can't find Golden Promise.
Well, but there's all of our Copelands too, which
we do. Look at that Copeland Ale, Copeland Dark.
Ooh, God, that's great news. If that plugin actually gives us access to more Copelands, that's a plus for us.
Yeah, that's pretty.
That's rad. A big win. So placeholder on the malt. We'll figure it out.
Well, there's our Maris Auda.
Right.
Where the hell is Golden Promise?
It's not a crazy malt.
No, this is a well-known malt. Why is it not here?
No, we'll check it.
I don't know. Anyways, we'll figure it out. So we got our base malt. What do we want to do now, flavor-wise, for this beer? Do we want it to be more chocolatey? Do we want it to be more caramel? Do we want it to be more roasty in flavor? Because that's gonna really give us some choice. Actually,
let's give them an option in these genres.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So if we want it to be more caramel, we are going to add like a caramel 60 or 80 to this beer.
Mm-hmm.
I say, God, we could go. Carafoam.
Carafoam might be fun.
I think chocolate would be great. Just a straight chocolate.
Yeah, for sure. But it wouldn't be much, right? Because
no, the SRM is 350 on it.
It's through the floor. I mean, you
fucking,
can put a touch of it, A grain on the top of the bed.
Yeah, exactly. Or I think, yeah, let's talk about special roast.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to give us the toasted biscuit flavor, which could be really, really fun in this beer.
Okay. All right, I'm liking what I'm seeing here. And what's our other option? So we got biscuit and caramel.
These
might be good.
Wait, no, we had biscuit, caramel, and what was the one in the middle
the chocolate roast?
The chocolate malt. Yeah.
Yeah. Those are all good, actually. Those are all tasty.
Yeah, I think those are going to be fantastic. There's no wrong answer here.
Oh, is a Schwarzwälder what Kirschtorte? Is that a Black Forest cake?
Ooh.
Oh, is the full term actually Black Forest cherry cake?
Interesting.
Is that the actual name of it?
Huh.
Ah, well, there you go. Thank you, Beckenbauer. Yes. No. Our good friends, Tomas and Christian Franz are always there for us, down to clown, to help me with my pronunciation of these terms. Gosh, I miss them so much.
I know, and I can't wait till either they come here or we go there to get our kill team matches in.
You have to understand our ritual. Packs after packs after packs. Each of us brings our own armies. They fly into a PAX from Germany.
Yes.
With two suitcases full of terrain and miniatures.
Yeah, there's barely clothes. It's all terrain and miniatures. There's no space for them to bring anything back because they're setting up terrain for us.
No. It's just such a delight.
Yep.
Buttercream? What the... Well, obviously, Beckenbauer, obviously that's nuts. No, and the truth is, Beckenbauer, I had some friends from Germany roll through Marcus Liedenfrost. And they're very surprised at what we consider beer here in the United States.
Yeah.
A special roast, my friend.
Okay, that's fun. Okay, so we will add just a touch of special.
Well, Orion Rogue, the fact of the matter is that the German war machine, even the miniature one, is incredibly challenging to defeat. Right now, we're 1-1 in terms of kill team, 2v2.
Oh yeah.
And it took every ounce of my ability to maintain a stalemate with these people. No, Pyro, there is a joke about sex in a canoe regarding American beer?
What?
Tell me more. Dude, Con Lavuv is saying that they have a suitcase that fits a person holding 5,000 points of Tyranids and 3,000 points of Necrons. Wow.
That's impressive.
No, I've never heard this joke before. What's the joke? Oh, they're both fucking close to water. No, I have not heard that, but I'm delighted by it. Now, where are we going next? Uh-oh. Here, I just got a text.
Yeah.
Here, we may have to finish this beer next time. I just got a text.
Yeah, it's 1:33.
I just got a text. We will finish this beer next Tuesday. We won't talk so much about beer and hang out. Next time we will do our task. We'll do what we fucking came to do. We're not going to dick around
Yeah,
for an hour. It's just an index of how much. It's just an index of the affection. Like all we want to do is hang out.
Yeah.
And obviously it's taken too long. I'm going to apologize to my friend Michael on the stream.
Sorry. Yeah.
And then we're going to send it over to him. What a pleasure. But Amber Council, which is to say Precious Chat, thank you so much for rolling through. Obviously, we'll save it exactly right here. And then we might even have an opportunity to figure out where our golden promise is by next week. Hopefully, we'll have some progress on the brewing device front.
Yeah, absolutely.
But until next time, stay strong. We will see you next week.